Autumn is officially here and all of our harvests are in from the garden. Our canning shelves are full, our freezers are full and running over. Our root cellar is all ready to put all the cured food into. But no matter how good my intentions, during preserving and harvesting season, the basement always gets to be a wreck. The freezers are unorganized and it's also very dirty from taking all the produce down there. My freezers still have a few things in them from last year that I'd like to get used up before we start using all of our fresh food, which is why we're doing this tallow today. This is left over from our last beef, so I just wanted to get this out of the freezer and get it done. I find that when my basement and all of my homegrown food is unorganized and a mess, I waste more food because it's harder to get to. It's not as accessible and easy. So I really want to today just get all of that organized, cleaned up, and ready for the cold weather.
What's going through the grinder right now is suet. Suet is the fat from around the kidneys on a beef. This suet is still left over from the last beef that we got processed, but it needs to get out of the freezer because we're gonna be getting another beef processed this winter. And also Michelle is wanting to get some body butters made, and she also uses tallow for cooking. Tallow is what's gonna be made from this once we melt it down, and Michelle will explain more about that later. We've also got some chicken backs and pieces that are left over from last year that need to get out of the freezer. Those we're gonna be turning into bone broth, and we're gonna be canning that up, trying out our Superb lids in the pressure canner today for the first time. Most of the day we're gonna spend organizing, cleaning the basement, cold cellar, getting that all squared away. We just need to get this stuff started first so it can be going while we're doing that.
Hold on when you need a friend, I'll never let you go again.
Okay, stop.
Reach out when your mind's uneasy, 'cause I'll understand. Hold on when you need a friend, I'll stay here to the end. Get up, don't hang your head, we'll take it step by step.
Next time you see us, we will have an electric grinder. This is stupid.
It is, isn't it?
I'm going to be using what people call the wet method for rendering this tallow today because I'm really wanting a nice white pure tallow. I'd really like to mess around with making some soaps with this, and I'm also going to make some body butter with this, so I don't want it to smell like beef. Basically, you just put water and salt in with your tallow and let it melt down in your crock pot. If you want to know more about this method, you can check out Bumblebee Apothecary. She has a very detailed blog post about how to do the wet method. Basically, the water and the salt help to purify this tallow, which makes it white and odorless so that you can use it without... You can use it as a body butter without smelling like a steak. I'm gonna let this tallow melt down out here on the porch because I cannot abide the smell of tallow rendering. Oh, it just makes me feel sick, and it takes me right back to when I was pregnant. I did this when I was pregnant. Oh my goodness, it was so bad. So I'm gonna have it out here on the porch. The water that's in here is gonna keep anything from sticking to the bottom of this crock pot. Anything that sticks or essentially fries in there is gonna make odor and flavor, and I want this completely odorless and flavorless. Once this tallow is all melted down, and then I'm gonna put it into another container and stick it in the refrigerator, and the fat will all harden and the water will stay underneath. So the water is not going to be mixed in with the tallow that's finished.
While Michelle is getting ready to take you through the process of making and canning bone broth, I want to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Element. Element has really become a part of our normal life around here this last year, and it's really been a big part of our adventures off the homestead. Like just recently, I ran a 20K trail run in Hocking Hills with my sisters. I had my Element with me, and maybe due to my influence, my sisters had theirs with them also. I hurt my foot and twisted my ankle in the weeks leading up to this run, so I had zero training for this race, and I still got away with no cramps, and I'm gonna attribute that at least partly to the electrolytes in Element. You don't have to just take my word for it either. Element is used by a lot of different professional sports athletes, Olympic athletes, Navy SEALs, and I even saw recently that our favorite YouTubers, Kara and Nate, use it too.
Actually, got some of this water bottle right here.
And it's not just for athletes. Electrolytes can be helpful for anybody for things like headaches, nutrient absorption, and hormone regulation. So if you want to try it for yourself, you can go to the link in our description, which is drinkelement.com/morethanfarmers, and you can get a free sample pack of 8 stick packs with any purchase. That's a great deal, and it's only available through the link, so go give it a try.
When we butcher chickens, I keep necks and backs aside to make bone broth with. And then weekly, I usually just make a gallon of bone broth, especially during the winter when we're eating soups and stuff, not so much during the summer. So we ate all of the chickens from last year, like all of the breasts and thighs, but we didn't actually go through quite all of the bones. And so I just got them out of the freezer so they don't go to waste. I'm gonna can up a bunch of broth to be used during the winter just for when we get sick, or if I'm in a pinch. If I run out of broth in my fridge or something, I'll have some on my canning shelves downstairs. I started on this project already yesterday because I knew I wasn't going to be able to get through all the bones that I had left over with the broth making in my Instant Pot today. So I'm going to have around 4 gallons total of broth that I'd like to can up.
Open up the window. I'm breathing in the last of September. I can feel the wind blow, and the late summer sky is like a giant ember. Everything is turning into gold. When the autumn leaves are playing chases, puts a smile up on my face. They leave their branches one by one and whirl around there just for fun. Some are faster, some are slow, and some are high and some are low, dancing through the last days of September. Since I was a little child, every year for as long as I remember, all the leaves were running wild, going all the way until November. Turn the world around us into gold. When the
It's been a couple weeks since these potatoes have been curing out here. They're looking really good. A lot of the wounds have healed over. You can tell there's a nice little scab, everything's dried out. So we are putting these in crates, putting them in the root cellar where it's colder than it is in here. I did not cure these the proper way at 80 to 85 degrees and really humid. It is pretty humid in this basement without the dehumidifier on, so we kept the dehumidifier off, but it's definitely not warm enough down here. People have asked if the potatoes sweeten well if they're not cured at a high temp. We haven't noticed anything with our sweet potatoes not being sweet. They're still very sweet. You don't have to do everything perfect to have a good tasting potato. I'm not necessarily recommending that you don't follow the directions. Basically, we don't have a place in our house or basement to do it that way. And I just don't feel like devoting the time to creating a space with those temps. So this is just the way we do it. My sweet potatoes didn't turn out nearly as well this year as they did last year. You can see there's like a fungus. I don't know what it is exactly. I don't know where they left out too long. I haven't completely figured out what this is. It's happened before. But when the skin is dark like this, they get soft faster. They'll still store for a good long while, but definitely I'm gonna have to be using these first. These are Covington, the ones that performed excellent for me this year. You can see they're perfect. I mean, these will last forever.
When the autumn leaves are playing chases, puts a smile up on my face. They leave their branches one by one and whirl around there just for fun. Some are faster, some are slow, and some are high and some are low. Dancing through the last days of September.
I'm always scared to take it off.
That's 160 pounds of sweet potatoes in the cold cellar now, along with almost 400 pounds of white potatoes, all of our butternut squash and onions. And we purposely put the sweet potatoes and the white potatoes over in this side. And I finally got this door in here so that now we can close this off and keep them separate from the onions. The gases or whatever that the onions give off will make the potatoes and sweet potatoes sprout sooner. Keeping them separate should make sure our potatoes last longer this year. So really all that's left to do in here is sweep it out, and then we're ready to go and take a look at the freezers.
Real quick before we get to the freezers, I want to show you guys my carrot fridge. It's fully stocked, fully loaded for this winter. We've got 175 pounds of carrots in here that are all taped up in these grocery bags. So these will last for months and months. Fun fact, just last week, I found a carrot that's exactly 1 year old in my refrigerator upstairs, and it was still totally edible. So crazy.
Unfortunately, there is nothing to really organize in this freezer. This is where we usually keep our beef. And there is a little bit in here. There's a few cuts left down there, but we did run out of burger a while ago. Now we're running low on cuts. We're wanting to get our steer butchered, but we can't until January. The butcher shop was booked out. We are actually gonna be buying some beef from a local farmer that raises grass-fed beef. That's something that I'm totally cool with doing, supporting our local farmers.
This freezer up here is just kind of a catch-all. I have a bunch of frozen peaches up here that I did. We got some peaches from Georgia, and then we also got some peaches from my mom's tree, which was really fun. And then just a whole bunch of raspberries that I stuffed in here. Over here's a bunch of jam. Nothing really to clear out in here, I don't think. This is the freezer that I've been dreading. I've just been throwing things in here, like little bits and pieces of things as I preserve them. Preserving season's crazy for me. And so I just, yeah, organizing doesn't really happen. So I'm just gonna have to, I guess, pull everything out of here. This is all butter. Oh, I have so much butter. This has actually been a huge lifesaver that I put away all of this butter this spring and summer, because now we don't have a cow, but we still have a year's supply of butter, so that's so nice. We have something to fill in the gaps before we get sheep. Oh yeah, here's still potatoes that I froze because they weren't lasting in the root cellar anymore. But now we have all those fresh potatoes. Who wants to eat frozen ones? More butter. Oh, I need gloves. Thanks, babe. We froze a whole bunch of milk right before we sold Maddie. So frozen milk isn't as tasty as fresh milk, but if you blend it and then strain off the chunks, it's pretty good. Not that I'm drinking it. An empty bag. I'm just gonna put all of these green beans from 2023 over into one of the empty freezers. And then I'm gonna try to incorporate these into my meal prep so that they don't go to waste. We really like to work through all of our food in a year's time. Here's a couple broccolis yet that are marked 2023, not very many. Raspberries marked 2022. More butter. Okay, this freezer is finally done. We have one more freezer over here that's full of chicken, but that is already completely organized, so I don't have to do anything in there. Now we're just gonna move on over to my dried goods. With all the canning and stuff that I was doing, I ran out of quite a bit of things. I ran out of sugar, I ran out of oatmeal. I just have to go through here and see what all I need to order. Okay, this is empty. I'm not gonna go real in depth on all of these dried goods, what we use them for, etc., because we're gonna do a pantry tour later on this season where we'll go in depth over everything down here. For now, I'm just gonna quickly check this stuff and see what needs to be refilled. I know that we don't need beans. We have so many beans in this house right now. Something new that I keep on hand is puff spelt. I got this from Stutzman Farms in bulk. I really, really like this for homemade granola. It just makes it lighter and fluffier and the kids like it better. I think we'll be good for a little bit on flour. I make like 6 loaves of bread every single week, so we go through a ton of flour. Oh wow, okay, I'm good on salt. I really stocked up before canning season. Cane sugar is completely empty. I'm good on rice. We've got lots of popcorn. Oh, more rice. And more rice. Like I said, it's gotten pretty unorganized down here.
Most of the canning that Michelle did this year was water bath canning, and out of the gallons and gallons and gallons of stuff that she canned, only one lid didn't seal, one Superb lid. She used mostly Superb lids, and that is the best success rate that she has ever had. This is our first year using Superb lids, and when we first started talking about it, we got some comments and saw some videos of mixed reviews about them. So far, so good. Everything has worked so far. The only thing left to test for us, I guess, is to see and make sure that they stay sealed for a long time.
This tallow right here would be perfectly fine for using in cooking and frying and things like that. But I'm gonna remelt this and purify it one more time because I'm wanting to use this for like soaps and making body butter and stuff. I'll be talking about that in a later video, but until then you can watch this video right here.
Nutrient absorption.